That counts. Okay, so listen. Back in Teams, back in your class notebook, we're going to take a look at 3.2. All right, so if we settle down from 3.1 and click here on 3.2, there's only 3 parts to it, an A, a B, and a C. And A is called how much should this cost? By the way, I put a little calculator in here for you, so you got that if you need it at some point.
Oh, what kind of drinks are those?
I don't know. The apple juice, I think. You know the canned apple juice?
Why would
Apple juice is just disgusting in general.
Oh, well, you know what?
So are you.
Whoa.
Nasty.
Whoa. Okay, whoa, it's getting mean in math class. And listen, can I explain something? Shh. When it gets mean in math class, I'm going to be the one being mean. Now, let's take a look. Okay, so.
Wait, I'm really confused. I don't know how to get to that screen.
Ooh, let me help.
I'm not even on it yet, so.
Let me help. So you're in OneNote. We're just going to go 3.2 instead. And it's right there.
I'm also confused on how Allison likes apple juice.
It literally
You don't like apple juice?
Apple cider though.
I like apple cider.
Apple cider is just
We have to
good.
We have to get a certain amount, otherwise this tastes.
Yeah.
Figuring stuff out.
Apple farm that my mom goes to sometimes when she gets the cider.
Easiest way.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
but we got the like this Walmart one, and it was like kind of just like apple juice that was over spiced.
Yeah.
I understand exactly what you mean.
What's your favorite kind of
Yeah, that one there.
Lay's.
There. It'll bring up the
Like,
menu and you put your name.
Air.
Free,
Love it.
and then, is that cool? All right, let me know if not.
What's the best chip?
All right.
Mickey song?
So get loaded up, but I want you to look here.
That hurts.
This right here.
Cookies.
So let's imagine that I'm in need of a delicious.
6 minus 1 pack.
Yeah. So here's the problem. Oh no, the only one left, and it's a 6-pack. Only there's one missing. Oh no. So here's the thing. I'm half Italian, but I'm half Scottish. Is anyone here Scottish?
I'm Irish.
Okay. Let me tell you something about Scottish people. They're cheap. Cheap. All right. And I say that as somebody who's part Scottish, which I think makes it okay for me to say this. I'm just gonna say it. They're cheap. They don't like to spend the money.
Are you dying?
All right. So here's the thing. This is the last thing apple juice. I'm gonna buy it because I want me some apple juice. But it says a 6-pack costs how much? $3.29. Am I gonna pay $3.29 for 5?
No.
Not on your life.
Hold on, but the question is, did you drink one before you were
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. This was what was there. So here's my question. Can you figure out how much money I should offer them?
Yes.
So I want you to take a minute and think about it any way you can. Just take some time and take a look at that and think, how much money should I pay them if 6 costs $3.20? Put your hand down. We'll talk about it in a minute.
I just want to say that I'm pretty sure they can't legally sell you that. That's all I wanted to say, but like I'm not sure. Like I know that this is just a theoretical situation.
Yeah,
like,
no, well listen. Like, it's like maybe they shouldn't, but you go up and you say like, hey, this is missing one. Would you take $1.50 for it? And they'll be like, no, because it's supposed to be $3.29. You're gonna pay less than half. And so I want to know, like, if we were being real precise about. By the way, the answer is below, and you're supposed to be able to highlight it. And I'm having this moment where I realize that because I use the equation editor, you can probably just peek below and see the answer. But don't do that for a minute. See if you can figure it out. Yeah.
Where's the divided button?
You just use the slash. Yeah, the same slash you use for fractions. If you use that for division, can I see? I can take a look.
You're bringing your coffee with you?
Yeah. Oh, it's great. And if you actually need a calculator, I put one here, so you can actually like type it in there, and it does have a divided button. Okay. Yeah, so mess around, see what you can come up with. And again, I think I accidentally made the answer visible below because I'm clumsy and bad at computers.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oh, Dan. Oh,
oops.
No, I do not thank you.
Wait, where's the times button?
Now I gotta sign into my full account.
Do I just do X? Does it work if I do
I'm
X?
sync my
I think it
account.
does. I'm gonna try it.
I'm not sure. Let's find out.
It doesn't. Freak.
You know what it does? For multiplying the star, which I think is shift 8. Is it shift 8?
Yes, it
The
is.
star means multiply for that. Yeah.
It doesn't work either.
Can I see?
I'm just using the in chat thing.
Hey, you can do that. You just have to put an equal sign at the end.
Oh,
Bam.
you're right. Wait, I literally did that for the first one.
Bam. Bam.
Well, then I found my answer. So
I love it. Okay.
I'm not gonna say it.
It's a secret.
I'm gonna write it down again and then I'm gonna highlight it
Nice.
because it's fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to link my Google account to this. Yes, thank you.
Hello. How we doing?
Say hi.
Good to see you. Look at this crew.
I know, they're all so industrious.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Love it.
I like.
You
4
like
of
me?
them.
I'm the best.
I like there's 4 of them. That I
I'm all
like.
4 of them.
No.
That must be it.
5, so 4 to 7.
That's pretty good.
That's
That's pretty good.
50%.
Wait.
So that's okay.
That's pretty good.
Is one her, Steve, her, and
Well, he's not gonna tell
oh,
you.
him?
It's okay.
No, I'll tell
As long
you.
as you correct
I'll
yourself.
go. Come on, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I know.
Not a fan. You're
Hey,
alright. Not
are
a
you sure
fan.
about that? You told
no,
me yesterday
no.
you're your favorite student.
You're alright. No. Wait a minute. That didn't get me to 4. Huh? Did something wrong that? No, you guys are alright. I like all of you.
Yeah, but I'm your
He's
favorite.
not gonna tell
Well, you are.
Can I honestly get honest truth? I mean, I would never tell people, but I will admit that sometimes you come across a kid you don't like. No, like really, you do.
Oh yeah.
Because we're all humans, and you're never gonna like everybody. I would like to think. I would hope that if you found a student that I didn't like and asked them, "Do you think Mr. Orlando treated you kindly and fairly?" they'd say yes. I hope that's true. But like sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just don't get along with somebody, and like that happens. I think I'm actually nicer to those kids than I am to like the kids I like, because I think with the kids I like, I'm not afraid to kind of be mean when I think I need to be mean. Whereas if in the back of your mind you're like, I know I don't really like this kid, I'm never gonna push, because I'd be worried that I'd be being mean, or that like kind of my negative thoughts would sneak out.
Yeah.
So like if I never point at you and say, hey, then I probably don't like you. But if at some point I've been like you, then we're good, we're cool. Yeah.
No offense to you, but tech class is my favorite.
Can I start with something? You can't just start a sentence by saying no offense. It doesn't work that way.
Math class
You can't
is
just
my
be like,
favorite.
you can't be like, no offense, but your mother's a horrible human being and your cat is ugly. Like you can't do that.
No.
Like it doesn't like that doesn't work. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. That's like your uncle who says I'm not a racist and then has to use but. I'm not a racist, but and you're like, I'm sorry, yes you are. So just stop.
There are
No offense.
exceptions.
There are not.
There are. I have anxiety. Whenever I say anything, I'm like, no offense. but
No,
I think you look
I'm
really good
kidding.
today.
I'm kidding. Can I say something? Your favorite class should be your favorite class. You don't have to tell me math's
my
your favorite. Listen, can I say something? Like when I was in school, I hated gym class. I just hated it. That just wasn't for me. It wasn't my thing. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with gym class. It just wasn't for me. I didn't like it. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, you want to plug in?
Yeah.
Yeah, go nuts. Absolutely. Yeah, no, listen.
don't want me
Can
to
I
go
say
nuts.
something? Math can be torture. I get why people
Oh
don't
yes,
love
I
it.
can.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so now, here's the thing. How did you approach this? This question is kind of a sneaky one, and there's not one way to do it. There's a million ways to do it. You can answer this a bunch. So what did you do?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but the first thing I have to say is, what if you say, can I ask a question, and you say no? What will you do? Will you ask anyway?
Of course.
Okay, that's what I want to
Whose
do.
classroom is it? It's
Anyway.
my classroom. I'm just being polite.
I wouldn't say standard, because like, there's no standard, because like, screw you. But,
Okay.
I'm sorry. But one of the ways that you could go about this is to find, like, you find the percentages of, like, how much each can is worth to make up 329.
Yeah, okay, I like that. So your idea is to say, well, wait a minute, because there's supposed to be 6, there's only 5, I want to know how much each can is worth.
Yes.
Well, I like that. That's good thinking. So that's a good question. So the way you approached it was to say, how much does each can cost?
That's the calculation that I did.
Cool. So, okay, I like that. And then how did you do that?
I did 329 divided by 6. So that's how I found the percentage. And
Okay.
then I did the percentage.
I love it. So can we stop just for a sec there? So what you're saying here is you're saying 329, but because there's 6 cans, really we need to take that price and cut it 6 ways. Cut it in
Yes.
6 pieces. And that's what dividing means, by the way. It means take this and cut it into this many pieces. So really, you're saying like this 329, let's cut that 329 into 6 pieces, and like that piece is how much that can cost, and that piece is how much that can cost, and so on and so forth. And mathematically, we do that by dividing. What did you get when you did that?
I got 0.5483.
Awesome. Can we stop for a second?
Extra numbers.
So 5483, and so I'm going to say 83 is close to 100, so I'm going to call this 55 cents. Though if you left it as 54 or whatever, it's not a big difference. Okay, what does that mean? I like that. That's a good way of approaching that. That's a really good way of approaching it. So really what we're saying then is each of these cans cost 55 cents because all 6 of them cost $3.29 and we divide. That's cool. What could you do now? Now that you know that every can costs 55 cents. One thing I could do is I could say, well, wait a minute, how much should this guy knock off the price? He should knock 55 cents off. So could I just take that $3.29 and subtract 55 cents? Yeah, that'd work, right? I could say, hey, I'll pay you for these, but take 55 cents off. But that's not what you did, is it?
No.
And I like what you did. What did you do then?
I kept the full number that is totally unnecessary until, so that was my slice.
That's okay. No, nothing wrong with that.
0.5483, and I took that and I said times 5 because we have 5.
Ah, I like it. So what you did then is you said, I want 5 cans.
And from that number, I just took off the last 3 digits, so I was left with 2.7.
I love it. So you did 0.5483 and you multiplied it by 5, which makes sense because you're buying 5 cans. And what'd you get?
2.7415.
Nice. And that means this should cost me $2 and 74, 75, something around there. 274, 275. I love it. That's great. That's really good. Now, that's not the only way to do this. In fact, I'm going to show you a different way, but my way isn't the right way. Can we, and I want, like, listen, look at me. This is so important. My way isn't the right way. There are 30 ways to do this, and they're all great. If it gets you there, then you're golden. This is a good way to do this. It's really good. It's really logical. It thinks your way through it. In fact, it's so good, it's exactly where the next lesson is headed. It's exactly what the next lesson is going to be about. But it's not the only way. You know how I would have done it? Just because it's what we teach in grade 9, and so it's kind of on my mind. I probably would have made it a proportion. Because remember we did proportions? That was a long time ago. But remember we did the thing where we said, if I set up 2 ratios like that, and I could say, how much do 6 cans cost?
Oh,
They cost $3.29. But then how many cans am I buying?
5.
I'm buying 5 cans. And then I could say, I want to know how much that costs. Does that make sense? Remember we did proportions? Been a while, right? Again, is this a better answer? No. Is it a worse answer? Maybe. If it makes less sense to you, it's worse. You know what I mean? There's not a right way and a wrong way to do it. There's just the way that makes sense to you that also gets you there. Having said that, can you remind me when we have a proportion, how do we solve one? Can you remind me how we do that? Remember we kind of looked in like diagonals? Does that ring a bell?
Oh, yeah.
We looked at the diagonal pairs. It might have been a while since you've done this.
I remember.
But if you remember, we look at the diagonal that has numbers. And so here we have 5 and 329. And what do we do with those 2 numbers?
I don't remember what we do, but I remember this.
We do 5 and 329, and we're going to multiply. And what do we do with the other number? We multiply those ones, and then we divide by the other number. Good. And that's what I would have done, just because that's what we've been doing a lot of lately. But again, is that a better answer?
No.
No, it's just another answer. Is that cool? But it is good to remember how to do proportions. And I'll tell you right now, if you get your calculator and you do that, you do 5 times 329, divide by 6, you're going to get the same answer. 5 times 329 divided by 6 equals 2.74. We get the same answer. Because in math, there's never just one way to do things. And I think sometimes we teach it like there's one way to do things just to try to avoid things being confusing. But there's never just one way to do things. Always lots. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to try the next 2. Here we have Izzy soda. I've never heard of this before. Heard of this nor seen this before. Has anyone seen this before? I wonder if it's an American thing. I literally Googled like pictures of missing sodas, math problem. And then this came up and I was like, stealing somebody else's
so
hard
funny.
work.
Can you imagine taking that picture? Like, hold on, wait.
Can I tell you something? I do that all the time. I cannot tell you how many times in my life I have been doing something and I've said, stop, I'm so sorry. Can I just get my phone? And I take pictures and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm a math teacher and like, this is perfect. And people are like, I hate you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, give me just a minute. And everyone behind you in the checkout is like, what's this guy's problem? And I'm like, I'm sorry, just one moment, just picture. Anyway, I didn't take these, but I do it all the time. I saw
Do you
those
ever end up using them, honestly?
all the time. In fact, a bunch of the things we've done in this course have been photos I've taken. But it's harder with like the online thing because they tend to be really good, like kind of let's talk it out activities, which is harder when everyone's at home on a computer.
Yeah.
Right? Even this is very much a let's talk it out activity, right? This would be, if I just threw this up and you're at home on the computer, you'd be like, what am I doing? Right? You got to talk about it. See if you can do this one. This is basically the same question. So if you're like, how do I do that? Well, you can remember what he did on this one, right? Same thing, same process. So if Mantha Kamakai can do it on the previous one, do you know that Mantha Kamakai sounds a lot like Cobra Kai, which I've been recently watching? Does anyone watch Cobra Kai? The show's pretty entertaining. I'm a fan. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I don't know. Here's my question. If you had never watched like The Karate Kid and that wasn't like an integral part of your childhood, would it still be good? No, eh? So I would say if you haven't seen The Karate Kid, probably don't bother. Yeah. And like, because I'm not sure if it's actually a good show or not, but if you grew up watching The Karate Kid a bunch, like I totally did, then you're like, this is hilarious. Anyway. So try this one. And you can do exactly what Kai did last time, but you don't have to do that. You can do what I did with the proportions.
Do you want me to find like a different equation?
If you can, wouldn't that be fun? See if you can find a
think it
different
would,
way.
actually.
Yeah, try a different way. See what you can come up with. That's the nice thing. I love when there's different ways to do things.
Are there any like plugs anywhere nearby so that I can plug my laptop?
You are welcome to sit at that desk though, and then you'll be able to reach that one.
Which does
Or
work?
like right in front of
The one covered in
Ainsley
stuff.
here. Yeah, I'll move the one that's covered in all my garbage.
Okay,
Yeah, this can be your desk. I will move all of my junk, which there is much. So yeah, take a few minutes, try this out, and then we'll take it up. We'll take a look at it.
I still find this confusing.
It is, oh, totally. It's confusing. Yeah, don't worry, we're gonna get you there. You mean learning something brand new and you're only seeing it for the second time, you still find it tough?
I think
Can I say something? People always have this thing where it's like, oh, I'm bad at math because I don't get it. It's like, you're seeing it for the first time. Calm down.
Like, I can literally see this for like 1,000 times and still not get it.
I don't think that's true. I think I know what you are. You're totally, my wife is like this. I went skiing once with my wife, and I am not a skier, she is not a skier. And so like, you go down for the first time and you fall a bunch and whatever. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting this. And she's like, I can't do this, I'm too stupid. And I'm like, you just got on skis for the first time in your life. Settle down. But you're totally like that. You're just like, oh, look at me. If I'm not perfect immediately, I must be bad at it. Settle down. Do your best.
I'm literally telling you, if I can literally see this for 1,000 times, I'm still not.
Well, I'll make you a deal.
I'm
When we
so high off
when we
the
get to time 1,000 and you get it wrong, then I will admit that you're right. Okay?
Okay.
All right. That's a deal.
Uh-oh. I hit it. It's fine.
That's okay. Or if it does, whatever.
Oh, it looks so weird on the tablet. I'm, like,
There's a
using
chair
these
here.
arrows. I know.
Okay, I'm just saying, because now there's like 4 chairs there.
3.
It's better than nothing.
I almost spilled my chalky milk.
Not the chalky milk. You know what I'm saying anyway. I hope.
Oh, come on, you just that.
Did you seriously bring your chair all the way there when there is one right there?
Yes, I did. There's
It's
3.
okay, exactly.
Where are the open plugs?
Unplug the other thing in there is stupid. Don't worry about it.
I'll be back.
Wait.
Yeah, you can unplug whatever you want.
This is confusing. Did a squirrel die in here?
I hope not.
Please leave me alone, I'm autistic. That is my only defense, and it's not even a defense, but I am literally autistic. Take that how you want.
Yes, I'm coming over here because it's confusing. I don't get it.
No. So there's a million ways to approach this, but you know what I like? Keep it nice and easy.
You know, when I told you
Can I
that I was autistic and you said I've been called worse, and then I told you that I was actually autistic and you were so embarrassed. I think that's so funny. I've told so many people that. I just want you to know. I just thought that was so funny.
Is there anything worse than that moment when you accidentally say something? Have I ever told you about my time bartending a wedding?
What?
I used to manage a restaurant, and so usually I was just kind of out working around, but I was helping bartend one day because we were down some people. So I'm tending bar at the wedding, and people are coming up, and I'm working with this other girl, and she's great. And this woman comes up and asks for a glass of wine and is really slurring. So like, you know, when you cut somebody off at a bar, if you're ever a bartender, you try to do it in a way that seems like kind of fun. You don't want people to get offended, right? Like you want people to be like, look, I'm just doing my job. Like, I'm sorry, I can't serve you. So this woman comes up, she's kind of slurring, and so the lady I'm working with goes, the lady's like, can I get a glass of wine? And Ashley goes like, I think maybe you've had enough. And the woman said, okay. And I was like, I didn't think anything of it. And then this woman came up and said, that woman hasn't had a glass of wine all day. She recently had a stroke. And we were like, oh my God. I just did an not me, but my friend actually just did an impersonation of a woman who just had a stroke while denying her a drink at a wedding. And then we felt really guilty, so we found her and got her a drink of wine. But the damage was done, I think. So
That's so terrible.
yeah, not a good moment, not a great moment. Not a great moment. Okay, let's go. Oh, not a touch screen.
No.
That's okay. That's okay. We got this. Alright, so
I didn't even get how you guys did that. It
Okay.
was kind of confusing.
let me talk you through it. So here's the trick. How many are you supposed to get?
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's supposed to be 6. Alright.
Yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do, and later on I actually give you this. There's a lot of ways to approach it, but let's just approach it this way. Let's approach it as like one of those ratios. And let's say that you should get
Why
6
are
of
only
these,
6
Yeah.
eggs
and
in
it should
there?
cost you $3.29, right?
Yeah.
And then here would be the equal
Did you
sign.
say
So
why
it's
is there
the equal
so
sign
many
up
eggs
here.
in
No.
Whatever.
Why would anybody
But you didn't get 6.
take
You actually only
individual
got
eggs from a supermarket?
Someone decided to steal one.
And so we want to know how much should that
I would
cost.
like this many eggs.
And whenever you set up a proportion, now to solve it, you go diagonally. It's just a trick, but it works. And if you do it a bunch, you'll get in the habit and you'll be like, I got this. And so you take these two numbers, these diagonals. So show me the diagonal pairs. The 6 diagonals up with
You
the
said eggs
Whatever.
easily.
the X, just the thing we don't know about.
Right.
Nice. So you take the 2 that are both numbers and you multiply.
Why?
So we do 3.29, 329, and we multiply it by 5. And then you divide by.
But why would you divide it though?
Because what we're really saying is, what we're really doing is we're dividing this by that. We're saying 329 is how much 6 cost.
Okay.
So we're saying, okay, 329, but if we cut that 6 ways, that tells me how much each can costs. And then, I don't have 1 can, I actually have 5. So what we're really saying is here is, take that 329 and split that money up, so each of the 6 cans has a fair share of the money. Does that make sense? This can has whatever it's worth, that can has whatever it's worth, that can has, does that make sense? You split the money up. If that was like coins, you could actually like stack the coins on the cans. It's all evenly divided. Can you picture that?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna say, okay, and I want 5 of those cans. Not 6, but 5. And that's how you get the answer.
Again.
But also at the same time, it would still be 3 something only because of the tax.
That's true. We're gonna ignore tax though. See, we're gonna make things complicated. I like that. So now let's do the same thing here. And you're gonna say, okay, for this Izzy Cola,
It's supposed to be 4 though.
that's right. So,
Why is it so much?
sound, 'cause I bet they're really good.
They don't sound good. They don't sound good.
I like the pops.
Oh, that's
See,
good.
so like,
But
I'll pay more for that. I'm cool
yes,
with
but
that.
like the kind doesn't sound like a brand like that.
Is
doesn't sound good.
it? Anyway, okay. So how much money?
I have 5.
Now, how do we have to split that up? We're taking those coins and putting them on top of how many should be in the pack. How many ways are we splitting that 549?
I want to say 3 ways or 4 ways.
Should be 4 ways, right?
Yeah.
Should be 4. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna split it up 4 ways, right? And now, how many of these do I actually want?
Well, you want 4, but you're getting 3.
Yeah, how many am I paying for?
3.
I'm paying for 3. So we're saying take the 549, split it 4 ways, and then I don't want to pay all 4. So I'm going to multiply that split up bit only by how many I'm taking, which in this case is 3. And what should I pay? I know there's too many numbers though. Yeah. It's not so bad, right?
Yeah, but it would still be taxed though.
Well, plus tax, I know. But not on groceries. Do you pay tax on pop? Because you don't on food. Does anyone know that? Hey guys,
Yes, you do.
like you don't have to pay tax on groceries.
Yes,
So
you
like
do.
if you no you don't. So like
No?
no.
Oh.
So if you go to a grocery store and buy, and even if you go to the corner store, if you go to the corner store and buy eggs, they can't charge you tax, and they don't. And if you buy like flour, they don't charge you tax.
What?
It's true. Anything that's considered grocery, stores can't charge you tax for. Groceries are tax free.
Does
That's
ice
true.
cream count?
Well, this is what I'm wondering. If you buy pop, do they charge you tax? I feel like they do.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
If you buy like if you go to the grocery store and buy a case of pop, they don't charge you tax.
No.
But if you buy one like out of the cooler,
Oh, then yeah.
I
you
think
have
they
to-
do charge you tax.
Oh yeah, because it's only one.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah,
You said eggs, and I have a question.
yeah.
Why would somebody take 5 eggs out of a carton and then?
I know, isn't that person a psychopath? Like, what are they doing? It's probably like teenagers are gonna go throw them at cars, don't you think?
That
No,
would
they
be
just
fun.
take the whole
See,
thing.
that's what I'm thinking. Oh,
Yeah,
they would
but-
take the whole thing. Maybe they're just
Yeah,
anarchists.
It's like an eight.
Maybe it's just people who hate order and love chaos.
Sounds like
Hmm?
Brooklyn.
Possible?
No, then you'd only take 1 out.
No.
Maybe 2. Not half of
Yeah, my suspicion is that this is a staged photo. Because I can see if they were broken. Sometimes you open the thing of eggs and a couple are
See,
broken.
that's not even. I don't
But
like
then
that.
they
It's either you
still
take
taken
half
out.
of it or all of it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Okay, so here,
Half of it or
alright, so here, let's do it again. How much money does the whole thing cost?
229.
Okay, but now, if we want to cut it up and know how much each egg is, we'd have to divide that. How many eggs are you supposed to get in a thing of eggs? Do you know?
18. It's usually 18.
Oh, these are the smaller
or-
ones.
So
2,
18.
4, 6, 8, 10.
12?
Wow. Yeah, this is a 12 pack. You get 18 packs too, but you're right. So that would tell us how much they should all be, but then how many are we actually getting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what should I do? So I do 229 divided by 12, and then how do I say now I'm going to pay for 7 of them? Times. Right? Does that make sense? Take the 229, divide it 12 ways, and then I'm going to pay for 7 of those.
Also, you should.
Cool. And what's that give us? Awesome. Yeah, that's the whole page done. You're good. That's awesome. And seriously, we did that together now. That's okay. Eventually you'll do it all here.
Yeah, I'll be surprised when I can do that.
Do you have any free cords like this that I can borrow for a
Can I
second?
see which end it is? Yes, I do. Give me a second.
Because my Wacom is malfunctioning, and I'm not sure if it's because of the cord or the device. But like my computer's having trouble recognizing it, and when I move the cord, it's acting up.
That's super annoying. That is not it, but I do have it. Give me a second.
You know what?
I am Mr. Never Throw Out a Cable, which
Yeah,
is
we
annoying to
can see
everyone in my
that.
life. But then when the day comes that you need a cable, I take you in the back room, which is okay. Give me just a minute. Might have one in here, and if I don't have one in here, I have one in the back room. That's micro. That's a controller. Yeah, absolutely. Come on.
It was for a recipe, they only needed 5 and they don't eat eggs. Just give the eggs to somebody else.
I can kind of go back to my feet now.
If they didn't eat eggs, then why didn't they?
I hate being this short because I can't actually touch the ground fully.
That just comes in. I'm gonna say, here, have another egg.
Just lay with him. I'm just
Not just go outside.
I'm not kidding. I'm drawing tablet. It's Christmas.
Or make
And I don't want to wait that long.
No, I hear you.
That being
All right.
a really good one.
Can we take a look up here? Can we try this together? How would someone approach this? What would you do? Lots of ways to do it. What could we do? What's one way? Yeah, what do you think?
Same thing we did last time. I haven't done the equation yet.
That's okay. Can we do it together? Talk me through it. So what would you do?
So, since we're only 3 bottles of pop, when
Mhm.
it's supposed to be 4,
Yep.
divide it by 4 and then times it by 3.
Cool. So you would take the 549 and you would divide it by 4. because that's going to tell you how much one costs, right? And we can do that right here, right? We have the power. We can say 549 divided by 4 equals, and that gives us $1.37. And then, does that mean I should only offer them $1.37 for this?
No,
No, because that's how much I'd be paying for
1
1. So what do I need to do with that number now?
times 3.
Times 3. Does that make sense? Because I'm going to have to pay that 3 times. 1 for the first bottle, 1 for the second bottle, 1 for the third bottle. So I can take 137 and multiply it by 3. And that's going to give me, well, I can do this in my head. Come on now. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 33 cents is essentially 4 cents. So this should cost $4.20. Can someone check that? Do I trust my math here? Oh,
You're somewhat close.
It's not like you was 9 off. Aren't you supposed to be a math teacher?
I'm hanging my head in shame. What do you want from me?
You're hanging your whole
Stand back up.
That's what I look like when my mom comes into my room
No,
at 3 a.m.
no, help us learn.
All right, you guys did great. All right. I'm so embarrassed. That's what I do for a living. This is my job. Yes?
Everyone makes mistakes.
Oh,
That's totally fine. That's a rounding issue. Just so you know, guys, depending on the method you use, you're going to round at different steps. So if we're like within a penny or two of each other, we're doing it great. That means you're doing it right. Awesome. Okay, there's one more on here, which is, again, this is probably a staged photo, or like because I'll tell you right now, if you ever go to a grocery store and there's a partial carton of eggs, don't buy it. You don't buy a partial carton. That's weird, right? That'd be weird.
Me and Allison were just joking around and making a little skit at it.
I like it.
I can see this.
All right. So this one, how would you approach it? Talk me through it. What would we do?
You find a psychopath who did that.
And you'd say, give me the rest of the
Kill
eggs.
Your mother.
I'm going to tell you something right now. If you ever come across somebody who's trying to sell you loose eggs in a grocery store, don't you buy them. All right? That is weird. It's weird behavior.
I'm gonna end it.
Okay. How would you approach this? Can we say, I'm just going to show you the other way again just to remind us. Another way we could do it is we could say it's $2.29, and how many eggs do I get for $2.29?
12.
I get 12 eggs. And then I could say, am I actually getting 12 eggs?
No.
No, I'm actually getting
7.
7 eggs. And I could say, I want to know how much that costs. If I set it up like this, when we have a proportion, we like to grab the 2 that are across from each other and then the other one. What do I do with the 2 that are across from each other? Okay. If I'm solving if I'm cross multiplying, you take these 2 and you multiply them. 229 times 7, and then what do I do with the only number that's left? The opposite of multiplying is dividing. And can I say, you'd be a lot stronger with that if, when I teach this class, we do a question like this literally every day. It's like always how I start the class, with like 2 or 3 old questions. So it's a lot harder to keep this stuff fresh in your head when you don't do it for weeks. But 229 times 7 divided by 12.
It was the cord, by the way.
Nice. I'm glad to hear it. And that should give us $1.33.
Hey, I got it at 2. I wasn't paying attention.
And that's not the only way to get that. But did anyone else get a different answer? And again, if you got 134 or 132, that's totally cool. That means, is that what you got? Yeah, that's totally cool. That just means we're rounding differently. That's totally great. And keep in mind, in Canada, what do we always round to anyway when we're buying stuff?
5.
Yeah, the nearest nickel, right? I mean, unless you're using your card, but if you're paying cash, nearest nickel. Which means, I guess, over the course of your life, you could always save money if, when it was going to round up, you paid with a card, but when it was going to round down, you paid with cash. Like, if you always did that, you could probably make like $12 over the course of your life. You should think about that.
My mom
But are there expenses that come with having a card?
No. And let me tell you something else. If you ever have a bank that wants to charge you just to have an account or a card or something, say no bank and go somewhere else. Because they'll do that. They'll try to put fees on your account. and just say no. Just be like, you're not going to charge me a fee for banking with you, because literally that means I'm giving you my money and you're charging me to have it back. No, I won't pay a fee. And then just say, like, if you don't waive the fees, I'm going with a different bank, and they will either waive the fees or go with a different bank. Yeah, honestly, it makes me crazy. And I wish somebody had told me that when I was young, because my bank, I remember when I was 22, they went from having a student account to having an adult account, and all of a sudden they were charging me not $120 a year, which isn't a ton of money, but it's $10 a month. But still, $10 a month is $10 a month. That's my money. And for years I paid that. And one day I was talking to my grandfather. He said, "Are you nuts? Just phone them and say no." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Just phone them politely and say, I don't want to pay that." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Watch." And so he literally, for me, phoned and just said, I don't want to pay that. And the bank said, "Well, it's normal." He said, "Yeah, well, I'll go somewhere else." And they said, "Okay, well, we'll waive it from your account." And I was like, "What? This is a thing? You can just do this?" You'd be amazed how often in life, if you just ask for something, people say, "Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, cool. I guess we'll not pay that." So something to keep in mind. It's like cell phone plans. Every 6 months, you should phone your cell phone company and just say, "I don't want to pay this much money." I'm dead serious. Just phone them, because what happens is, as time goes on, they introduce new deals and promotions and stuff, and other people are getting those deals and you're not. And if you just phone them and say, "I think I'm paying too much and I'm thinking about going with someone else," they'll say, "Well, we can offer you blank." And then the first thing they'll do is try to offer you more. We can actually charge you $5 more, but you'd get this, that, and the other thing. Don't say yes to that. That's what they want you to do. Say, "No, I just told you I'm spending too much money. I'd like to have everything I have now and spend less." And somewhere in their list of plans, they will find one that is a better deal for you and they will offer it to you. Just do that every few months. You'd be amazed. It takes an hour of your life, and you might save $20 a month.
But what if they literally just tell you, "Okay, bye then, go find a different place"?
They won't. They never do. They do not.
They
But
want money.
what would I do if they did? Would I just find a different place?
Yeah,
Would
absolutely.
I just pretend that never happened?
No, you find a different place.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're really feeling like putting time into it, you can actually phone 4 different places, and somebody will offer you a deal that's way better than everyone else. It's amazing, and when this really comes up, one day you'll be buying a car. And first of all, don't ever buy a car; it's the world's worst investment. But because you live in the Niagara region, you're gonna have to at some point, probably, right? But if you can possibly avoid owning a car, they're so expensive. All they do is cost money. But at some point, you're gonna buy a car, and when you buy a car, if you just haggle a bit, you might save $1,000, right? That happens all the time. If you just talk to the dealer and "I don't want to pay this, I want to pay less," and you go back and forth, it might take you an hour, but you might save $1,000. Now think about that. That means for that hour of work, you got paid $1,000. Imagine getting paid $1,000 for 1 hour's work. But people don't do it. I don't do it because I'm so shy. I'm always I don't want to, what if I'm bugging the guy? But my wife's really good. She'll just be like, "Well, that's good. Lots of places have this same thing. Why would I buy it here and not there?"
That's so manipulative.
No, but listen, that's what they are doing. They want you to spend as much money as possible.
Fire.
And what you want to do is and I hate it. I'm not wired that way. But you realize that that is the way the world works. You gotta, no, anyway. That's my message about don't pay sticker price for things where you can. Now, having said that, don't go to the grocery store and be like, "I only want to pay 80 cents for these apples," because they'll be like, "Go away."
Okay.
But there's certain things where buying cars, cell phone plans, when it comes to big chunks of money, because man, my grandfather even did this. We went to Best Buy to buy a TV the other year, and he was like, "Well, can you throw something else in there?" And they're like, "Yeah, well, we could throw in the sound bar for free, I guess." And he's like, "Great, yeah, I'll take that." And I was like, "What? You just got a free sound bar? How do you do that?" And he's like, "I asked." Old people, they get it. Anyway, see,
I'm not for this TV. You want to toss something else in there? I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because you say again, because it's well, why would I buy it here? I could buy it anywhere. So why here?
What
Make
if
it
we
worth my
turn
while.
into Karens accidentally?
Well, don't be like, "I want to see your manager."
Oh!
I insist.
Apparently, I think that since a certain 2005, not a single person has been named Karen in Canada.
That's not true. There's no way.
There's a lot
There's
of Karens.
there's no way that's right. I feel so bad.
Karens.
My aunt is Karen, and she's the sweetest person in the world, and it makes me really sad. Because it makes me sad that my aunt's name is now synonymous with being miserable, because she's the sweetest person in the world, and
I
she's
have an aunt
Karen.
named Karen. She's really nice.
Yeah, so I feel bad. but it is kind of funny. But anyway, okay. The next page I think you're going to find really easy because it's actually easier. Because it's just the first half of what we just did, which is this page is all about if something costs $13.99 and it gives you 64 loads of laundry, how do you know much each load costs? Which you've already done. So I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to try to work through this page. Try to work through 3.2b. If you need help, come ask for it. I'm happy to
I
help.
don't know what happened, but like I closed the sidebar thing. Which one is it? I don't know where.
All you do is you see the books. That's like show me the books.
Okay, because I was not sure.
Yeah, just show me the books. And then you can be like, go away.
Show me the books.
Show me the books.
Now!
All right, well, settle down. Be nice to it. All right, so try this out. Do your best. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to take it up, so don't stress. But I think you guys did really well on the last page. This page is actually a little easier.
Where should I toss them?
It's not recyclable, so you'll have to go to garbage, which is in the
It's not
back.
recyclable?
No, I'm pretty confident that you can't recycle those because they have a wax coat on them.
It's plastic, actually.
Like plastic recyclable?
Well, no, there's plastic coating in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But because it's with the paper, so you have to pitch them with stuff. So in the back.
It's like how Tim Hortons, all of the different recycling things.
I could have
Sorry?
sworn that those were recyclable.
Costco hot dogs is so. Have you ever been to Costco? Okay, so you go to Costco.
I kind
Costco's
of
good.
vomit.
Who's been to Costco?
Me?
Okay.
All the time.
Can we all agree? Can we all agree?
Yeah.
A, it's a terrifying place to go because
Yes.
there's a million people, and it
Yes.
feels like you're being.
Yep.
And I suffer from a bit of social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I'm in a room with like a million people, and then they're all moving, and if you stop for a second, you feel like you're holding everyone up. It makes me feel very anxious. I don't really like going to Costco. The only thing that makes it worth it is for what, $1.50? Is it, or is it $2.50?
I think it's
The hot dog?
I think it's about 50.
Yeah, it's super cheap. Like they lose money on them. but
And
it's
they're
a
really
thing.
big.
It's a thing. You get like you get a hot dog and like all the toppings you want and a refillable pop for $1.50, and it's really good. It's good. It's a great deal. Best deal in
French
town.
fries.
Sorry?
I just like the French fries and Sundays.
Dislike or like?
Like,
Yeah,
The
I like the fries,
They're
and I
ice cream.
don't like the gravy, so I don't get the Costco poutine, but I like the Costco fries.
yeah.
There's
And the Sundays are
something
great.
up with the ice cream because I got it once.
Oh.
And I also had hot dog and fries, so I was like, dang, I'm a little bit better than I thought I would be. And after like 2 hours later, it had not melted one single bit.
That's fascinating, but I'm okay with that. I'm
How
totally fine with that.
the-
That just means that
It was
Costco, in
summer.
addition to everything else, is good at science. All right,
Wait,
see if you can go
does
through
that
this
mean
page. I have faith in
backwards?
you guys. I think you can figure it out. This stuff, straightforward. You're gonna be great. Talk to each other if you need.
The only thing about Costco is they
That's
give you
just
the samples.
Really won't get
Mm-hmm. Which is good public health policy, but I miss those samples.
Oh yeah.
There's always the person handing out bacon, and you're like, I'm gonna have a bunch of bacon, and she's like, okay.
Okay.
Came back.
I was at Costco with my mom once. It was terrifying, by the way, but like I got English muffins, and there was one of these samples, and it was this protein drink, and my mom gets a lot of those because I don't know, she just does, and there was this chocolate version, and I was like, yo, can I try it? And she was like, are you over 18? I was like, what? She's like, you can't legally have it if you're over 18. I was like, it's a protein.
Just say
drink.
yes. I'm 21.
She was like,
Yes, I'm 21. Boom. Look.
she was
Look
like,
at me.
I
Look at
can't give
Look
it
at, look
to
at me.
you.
Ready? Look. Yeah, I'm 21. Try it.
Yeah, I'm 21.
Great. That wasn't convincing. That wasn't
No, but-
convincing at all. Were you
I
convinced?
was like,
No.
why?
I wasn't convinced. Ugh.
No,
Ah.
She
Like
didn't
you,
even have a
like,
reason.
like you don't even want the sample.
That's weird.
I hate lying to people. It makes me so
That's
nervous.
good. That's a good trait. That's a good trait.
Yeah.
You should be proud of that.
But I've never seen anybody at Costco
All
do
of
that.
this
Like,
is it. So
It was this chocolate protein drink. I was like, why can't I have it?
Not a
Like,
touch.
she's like,
They-
no.
I knew that. I knew that.
no,
Sure you know.
Not a touch
That's
screen.
my
All right,
6-year-old.
What is
cousin.
this?
Egg
So,
tart?
which one of these do I buy?
She literally looked like a caramel. I'm pretty sure
But
she
they
was
actually,
actually.
this one's
She was like,
$13.99.
are you over
and I can do
18?
64 loads
And I
of
was just
laundry.
like,
This one's $13.99. and I can do
Oh, no.
60.
she was like, well, you can't have it then. And my mom was like, well, I'll take one. And she was like,
And I
okay.
can do
And I was like, mom, can I
66
have it?
loads.
And she was like,
Ah! Oh my
the
god!
lady was
Which
just
one's
like-
the best deal? Well, I like the Tide Pods.
Your
'cause
mom-
and I was like,
that's,
mom,
you
mom,
know,
come on, can I have it? And she was
dinner
just like, no.
right? But
And she would go in to get a second one. The
but
lady was like, no, you're
they
gonna give
actually
it to a
tell
person
they
underage.
tell you that this one only costs
It was
22
just a
cents
protein
every
drink that
time
was
you
meant
go.
for adults. There was no alcohol in
This
it.
one costs 26.
It was just
So the
meant
question
for
is,
adults,
how
so I
did
couldn't
they-
have it.
Kai.
That's
They did the same thing
How-
in
They
Emo.
did their laundry.
It's like a.
No, so if they know it's $13.99, you get 60.
Yeah, I was allowed buying the
Just like
actual
we said the
cans,
other
but
time.
I wasn't
So
allowed
if
to
you can
taste
imagine the
it.
6 cans, and if you imagine
And the
splitting the
big
money
one,
up amongst
They're
them,
like this
you
big.
can do the
This
same
family
thing.
are like this
You can
big.
imagine laying out those 64 loads of laundry, and then
Oh,
taking
wow.
That's
the
just
299
like
and
No,
splitting it
you
evenly
can't
up
have
between
it,
them.
but can
That
I
would
make
take
it?
a long time.
It would,
You do
which
your
is
money
why we're
as
not
your
gonna actually do
responsibility.
that. But can you kind
But
of
can I
mentally
try
picture
the
that?
sample? No, if I don't like it. No, you're too young
Well,
to drink
can you
this.
imagine having 64 like laundry baskets laid out?
I got it, man.
And then could you imagine having $13.99
Is
in
your
pennies in a bucket?
around? And I was just like,
Okay, pennies, yeah.
Great, and then you
I
just go and
really
you split
hated
the
it.
pennies
And
up
my mom
easy.
was
So you
just
put
like,
1 penny in each thing, then other than
my mom was like,
that
that
would
doesn't
take
make
forever,
sense. She was like,
right?
yeah.
But when it was
Cameras are
done, you know how much
watching,
each
so-
load of laundry costs, right? Because you
Yeah.
just go how many pennies are in this laundry basket, right? Cool.
I really hated it so much. I wanted to
Without
die.
having physically do
I
it.
went home and I hid my
Oh,
arms for the next
you
2
did.
It
days.
was my
Okay.
favorite store when I was like 4.
How much does it cost? $13.99. And then how many ways are we splitting it up? How many loads of laundry do we get?
They had this, it was this meat. It was so
64.
fucking
And so
good.
we divide.
What's your non
Because dividing
What?
means split it up.
Honestly, I
So
think.
we say
Honestly,
$13.99 divided by 64, and it tells us
Those were all my
0.218
Oh, yeah.
cents, and that's basically
Frozen versus
22
like.
cents. Does that make sense? Because like
Okay,
186 is
it's
close to
at
2 bucks,
Zares,
right?
they have
So
these
that's
cotton
22
candy
cents.
grapes.
What?
22 cents.
Yeah, and like they don't even taste like shit. Like my mom got
Does that
some
make
from
sense?
Costco, but
So
like it was
now,
just the
we
skin
do
that
the
tasted
same
like cotton
thing here.
candy. It didn't taste
How would
good.
we do this one?
But
How
the
much
ones
does it
at like
cost total?
Zares, they're so good. And it's the way that they were grown. And I'm telling
Got
you,
it.
they're like pretty expensive. They're like $14 for like a bag.
And we're gonna
But
split
it
it
is
up. How do we
literally
split
worth
it
it.
up? What
Like
math
not if I
operation
buy
does that?
everything because that's
Yeah.
expensive for a bag
Yeah,
of grapes.
divided,
But it's
good.
so good.
And then how many times,
so
how
good.
many
I would
loads do
totally
we
buy
get
that.
for this one?
66.
Awesome, so do that.
Hello.
Press
Hello.
equals and enter.
Keep going.
And it says 25.74. And again, 574 is basically 600. So 2,600 cents. Or, right? So 26 cents. That's what that runs, right?
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Rounding?
Yeah.
Awesome.
kinda.
And there we go. That's it. That's all we do. So now,
I need your help.
Yes.
if you buy a car,
Oh,
say the average compact car every year will cost you that much money. By the way, yeah, don't ever own a car.
I want.
Okay, so what?
I want an older car though.
And it's
Like the newer
expensive.
car is.
It's not just owning the car. You gotta fix it. You gotta
I
gas
know.
in it. You gotta insure it. It's so much money.
It doesn't work
Right.
on my computer.
I have
Cars.
I have a quick question.
Cars cost you so much money.
Yeah.
So why don't you do that same thing? You want to know every year it's going to cost you that much.
Okay.
I want to know how much is it going to cost a month. Now, how many
Month?
months are in a year?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
And well, let's count. Right? Tell me the months. First month.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, no,
September.
I'm just
October.
October,
Okay, I need
That was
more fingers
scary.
now. Give me one.
Do you know anything about
November.
ions?
And
December.
awesome. How many is that?
not a lot, but like yeah.
Just those two.
I
And
mean,
then
I'm a stupid
Good.
student.
count.
Yes.
Come on. Count them.
12.
Good. You got it. So it's 12 months.
No.
Good. You got it. So we're gonna take this $8,600 and we're gonna split it up how many ways?
Well,
Why are you asking about
You got
items?
it. Let's do that. So here we're gonna take 8,600.
Because my kids at home are struggling with the concept, and I don't think it's very hard.
You got this. 8,600.
like 2 years? No.
Yep. And then we're
Well,
gonna
just
split it out.
explain how it works.
Awesome. How many ways?
Well, I mean,
Keep
I
going into the
have
basics.
a
Awesome.
nice
Awesome.
slideshow, I have a video, I have
Yeah.
examples.
Find an alternate way to split it.
Why isn't it? Oh,
It's
because
done.
I did it this way.
That's a weird looking pinata.
Not all kids learn
You
the
don't
same.
like me.
That is the only advice I have.
Okay.
Oh, now it works.
You like
Don't like me.
You know, I mean, let's find it in the box here. for some reason.
Your mother?
Not weird.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So there you go. So every month, how much will that car cost me?
Oh. Okay. $16?
Yeah, a few cents. But yeah, $760 bucks.
That's
Alright.
that's
That's a lot. Okay, try this one. How much is the SUV?
I can't read that number.
12,000.
So
That's a lot too much.
You're telling me. Okay, do the same thing here.
Okay.
I'll be there. Leon must have filled his quota yesterday with me, eh?
I didn't see him today. Did you like
I just
threaten him?
I didn't threaten him, but I made him work, and I think I tired him out for the week.
Great. Thanks.
I only finished one thing, so.
That's better than nothing.
Mr. Orlando is gripped with a crushing sense of existential dread every time he goes to Costco.
That's true. That's true. That's a
Damn,
factual
that's a lot of
statement.
money.
Spent $400 at Costco.
But he can't deny how much he likes saving money on everyday items by buying in bulk.
It's true. I like
He
saving.
also loves the hot dogs.
I do love the hot dogs. It's a good deal.
Anyways, Mr. Orlando needs to buy some laundry detergent at Costco, and he's not sure which brand he should get.
Can I tell you something? Maybe you know this. Maybe you have a big family. But when you've got 2 adults and 4 kids living in one house, a lot of laundry. Yeah, it never stops. It never stops.
Get the Kirkland pods.
I do get the Kirkland pods. Fan of the Kirkland
And
pods.
then you get the Woolite for the blacks. That's it.
Yeah, well, then I have a
Oh,
snack if I
damn.
need a snack, right? That's nice. It's nice to know that I can do laundry and have a little snack. Yeah.
Okay.
That is a lot of money.
Ions.
Yeah.
Tough
For
concept.
the SUV and the
Sometimes.
pickup
We
truck?
just use the Hans.
Sometimes.
I'm good, I'm not paying that.
Because
Mm.
Maddie Dolitron,
Norex.
I'll stick
Blocks.
to
And I-
walking.
Pretty good.
I feel bad about it. And Keeling Gijnak,
I love
oh, I don't get it.
You see?
I'm not doing it.
I'm not okay right now. I'm sorry. I wanna,
Anyway.
you know.
That is frustrating, but it can be a tricky concept, you know? Like it's very theoretical.
Oh, Norwex.
Yeah.
Free Ross gets
Mom,
it.
there's a bunch of them. She cleans
Yeah,
them.
they'll all get it.
Although, I mean, I just one-on-one taught her.
Yeah.
Music is so loud, and I want it louder.
Can you pause your very loud music for me? Because I'm gonna talk.
Yes, I can.
All right.
Just put them on.
All right.
Who's doing the videoing today?
This guy. What the hell was that?
What?
Why did I have to hear that? I didn't like that.
What?
I didn't like it.
What?
Pardon my language, by the way.
What happened?
Which one?
I did when the loon or the gull briefly broke into the room, that noise. When all of a sudden we were overtaken as an aviary, that sound. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look, you bunch of maniacs. Okay, settle down. All right, let's take a look. So, when we do this laundry detergent thing, and again, you guys did great with this. You did awesome in the previous page. The previous page, I said we want to do this any way we want. On this one, we really want to see how much does one load of laundry cost? Because you see, at Costco, they tell you, right? When you look at the tag, they say this costs $13.99, you get 64 loads. So they tell you every load costs 22 cents. Nice. Nice to know. If they hadn't told us this, how would I know? If they had blacked that out, if they had not told us how much each load of laundry costs, how would we figure it out if we know that it costs $13.99 and that we get 64 loads of laundry for that? Exactly. Bingo. Super easy, right? Whoa. Super easy, where we just take that $13.99 and we divide it. We split it up 64 ways. And you can use a calculator and do that, and you say $13.99 divided by 64, and that's going to give us 0.2186, and that rounds to how many cents?
Why? I don't know.
186, that's pretty close to 200, so this is going to round to 22 cents. If you didn't round it, that'd be fine, that'd be an okay answer, but it's kind of weird to think of money as like $0.2186, you know, like that's a lot. So 22 cents, and that's it. That's all you have to do. That's all. So now, this one would be the same. What would I do here? Again, if I didn't know how many cents per load, how would I find it out? Same thing, nice and easy. I would say, yep. Yep, divided. And how many ways are we dividing it?
12.
Nope, for this one?
Sorry.
That's okay.
66.
Yeah, very good. Sorry? That's true. Then it's going to change your number. That is true. And so this would be $0.26 because again, 25.74, 74 is almost another full cent, so we just round it up. If it had been like 2518, then we'd round it down because 18 isn't almost a full cent. And again, can I be honest? For right now, if you do everything right and then your rounding is a bit wonky, I don't really care right now. That's fine. That's good. That tells me you got it. Later on, we'll work on getting our rounding perfect, but for now, if you're kind of sort of rounding, you're doing great. That'll be fine. Okay. As I said, owning a car, super expensive, though also super fun, super cool. So this is CAA publishes a guide every year, and they talk about the cost of owning a car. When you own a car, what are the things that cost you money about it? Obviously, you have to buy,
Insurance mostly.
sure, you have to buy the car, you have to buy insurance, you have to buy gas. What else do you have to buy?
Parts of the car that are
You gotta
broken.
fix it,
Um,
right? Those are the main costs there.
Tires.
Yeah, tires, oil.
yeah.
Even if you have to fill up the air in your tires,
The
the gas
window
station
fluid.
usually charges you like $1 for that. Window fluid, like it's amazing how things add up. So CAA says for the average person who owns a small car, a compact car, every year you can expect to pay about $8,600 when you factor all that stuff in. Every single year. That's a lot of money. Like holy crap, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like it gets split up, so you don't have to pay it all at once. It's not like it's January 1st and the car guy knocks on your door and says, that'll be $8,600, please. So here's my question. What is this going to cost me every month? How could I figure that out? Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, well, you do the number of like how much money the car.
Sure, so in this case, we're saying it's going to be $8,600 for the year. And what do I do with that?
You divide it by
Great.
12,
And
right?
great, pause for a sec. Why do you pick 12?
One.
Why do you pick 12? What's magical about that number? I want to know how much it's going to cost me every month. Why 12?
There's only 12 months in a year.
Bingo. There's 12 months in a year. So we said it costs $8,600 for the whole year. So to figure out for a month, we just divide it by 12 months.
Yes,
What did we end up when we did that? What number did you get?
$716.66.
716 and 66. Awesome. Okay. Cool. Does that make sense? Can someone else tell me what we could do? Because we got to share the fun. Math is fun, and we got to share it. How would I do that for the SUV? You buy an average SUV, they say it's going to cost you about $12,000 for the year. This one's actually a nice round number, but that's okay. How much is this going to cost me a month? What could I do?
Well, 1,000.
Good. How'd you do that?
12.
What?
12 divided by 12 is 1.
Yeah, very good. So she's just said if we take that 12,000 and we divide it by 12, that's a nice easy number, right? Because you can imagine 1,000 here, 1,000 there, 12 times. That ends up equaling $1,000.
Oh, that's a smart way to do it too.
Yeah, for a nice round number, that works great. So, if you're to buy an SUV, that means you better be sure that on the average month, some months will be cheaper, some will be more expensive, some months it'll be less than this because nothing will break and everything will go cool. And then like mine, I just had to take my car in, and usually I do my own work, but this was like a computer thing, I couldn't fix it, and it was like $2,100. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, right? It sucks. But then next month, it might cost me nothing, except my insurance. In the case of my car is electric, so I don't have to pay for gas, but I do have to pay for electricity, right? So, you never know. What about the pickup truck? What could I do with this one? What's it going to cost me? Good. I like that. What should I do?
Well, you can start with the same one that you started with at the beginning, and then you add in the missing 1,000.
Oh, you
separated.
could. I like that. I'm not going to do that because I think it'll be confusing, but I like it.
Okay.
I like that a lot. Okay. Having said that, what's a good way to approach this? That is good. I like it.
That's the first thing that came to mind.
I love that. That's the first thing that came to your mind. Again, I'm not going to write it, but I like it, and it'll work. What can I do here? Same thing we've been doing for the whole year. How much am I paying? 13,000. But then I don't want to do it for the whole year, so I'm going to cut it up. How many ways am I going to cut it up? How many months in a year? 12. And that gives us what? 1,000? $80 what?
83. Okay.
And 33 cents?
Yeah.
Awesome. So if you're going to own a truck, it's going to cost you on average, in the average month, $1,083.33. Holy crow, that's a lot of money. Now, maybe you buy a junker of a truck and maybe that saves you money. On the other hand, maybe it breaks down more and costs you more money. Who knows? Right? Like it's always kind of a thing to figure out. Questions about that? Awesome. All right. In C, we're going to formalize this. Am I going too fast?
Okay, what do you mean by
I'm
formalize? Like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, if you're the type of person, some people like to say, how do I do this? Right? Tell me in steps. Tell me so I can always look back and say, if I need to do this, what are the steps? And I'm just going to write that down.
Okay.
Some people think that way, some people don't. So I like, for people who like instructions, I like to have instructions.
Okay.
But for people who don't, for people who rather just think their way through it, then I like them to be able to think through it. But I was the kind of kid, I'm less like this now, but when I was in high school, I was very much like, please just tell me how I do it. You know, tell me how, and then I'll do it. That's me. So I like to make sure that if you're the type who says, tell me how and I'll do it, that I tell you how, and then you can do it.
I appreciate that.
That's the end of my story. This coffee has gotten pretty cold.
I don't mind that. I'm not hot.
Sounds like you're a psychopath.
I'm
Whoa.
the person in my house who will drink the cold coffee that my mother will not.
That's literally my brother.
Yeah,
You know how I feel about my brother?
I'm a fan.
It's just
Man, you were like sound effect heavy today.
I know, I don't know
You
why
were
this is
you were
happening.
like rocking the sound effects.
It is what it is.
All the sound
It
effects.
is what it is, cheapo.
Yes.
Woo!
I have no idea. Hopefully
It's
soon.
12.
45?
35?
35?
40,
35?
12:40.
12:40.
something.
We're almost there. Okay, so quickly, if we go to 3.2c, this is not a big thing. We're literally just going to write down how we do this. All right, so a unit rate is the unit rate is just another way of saying how much for just one. All right, and I know that's not a very fancy math answer, but it's kind of, to me, one that's just clear and kind of easy to understand. And I like things that are clear and easy to understand. So when you hear the term unit rate, it really just means how much is it going to be just for one. All right? Not trying to be fancy, not trying to whatever. And to calculate it is easy. So you do how much for all of them. I'm sorry, were you going to say that?
Huh? Me what? No, I'm just overheating.
Oh, I'm sorry. Divided by how many? That's how you find a unit rate. That's all. How much for all of them divided by how many? And if you can do that, you can get a unit rate. For example, sorry. Okay, now, you know the answer to this already. But if you went and counted, there were 8 cars in the parking lot, and you counted how many wheels, you found that there's 32 wheels in the parking lot. 8 cars, 32 wheels. If you want to know how many wheels are on each car, that would be a unit rate. How many for just one? How many wheels for just one car? Now, do we all already know how many wheels are on a normal car?
Yes.
Like, for example, if I went out and saw that my car only had 3 wheels on it, I would assume that Allison had finally decided to take out her rage on me and stolen one of the wheels of my
Who's
car.
Allison?
They just slash.
That's what I would assume.
Oh, Allison,
But-
you Allison.
Yeah, that's what I assume. I'd be like, you know what, Tabor has had too much, and she took one of my wheels. And then she would be my sworn enemy for life. But if we wanted to figure it out based on this, it's easy because we say how much for all of them divided by how many there are. Right? So in that case, we would say how many wheels are there all together?
Normally 5.
But in the parking lot. In the parking lot, there's 32, and we would divide it by how many cars there are, and how many cars are in this parking lot we're talking about here? 8, right? 8 cars in the parking lot, and we'd do 32 divided by 8, and if you do 32 divided by 8, you should get, hopefully I can still do math, I've had a couple of weak moments today, and we discover that in fact, how many wheels does each car get? 4. So we'd say, so each car has 4 wheels. Okay, so there's a bunch of questions below. By the way, I gave a little table for this for people. Some people like to do this by cross multiplying, so I just set up a table there to make that easier if you want. You do not need to use that, all right? In fact, you probably don't want to use it. It's just there if it helps you because people have to type on the computer. So these are all pretty simple, very straightforward. Do your best, and if you need any help with any of them, you just ask. I will help you out. But you're going to have a break shortly. I have to go check in with Calford about an unrelated matter, but I will be right back. Right back. Yes, kiddo. Sorry? Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Are you all right?
Yeah.
Don't fall over. I haven't lost anybody yet, and I don't plan on you being the first. All right? Every student who's come into one of my rooms has left it like on their own legs every single day of my teaching career. And I've had a couple of rough moments.
I'm gonna handstand my way